Hey guys, it's Matt from 1143. Today I have a product review on this MTH Premier Line Chessie SD50 with Protosound 3. This engine was first featured in MTH's 2014 Volume 2 catalog. Was featured on page 89. They have the Chessie road name. They have three numbers for all of the units, by the way. They have the Chessie, the Norfolk Southern SD40E, which is a rebuild of the SD50, the Chicago Northwestern, and the Denver Rio Grande versions. All of them look really, really sharp, especially the Norfolk Southern. That's the Chessie there, which is right there. The NS, which I really, really like. Chicago Northwestern and the Rio Grande. Ron Escape 150 has done a video on his Rio Grande version. I'll link that in the description if you guys want to check that out. But that engine also looks really, really cool. So, but we'll go ahead and focus on the Chessie one for now. The SD50 is not a new model for MTH. They have made it before. I'm not exactly sure how many times before, but all I remember is that in, I believe it was 2006, they came out with a Protosound 2 run with this Chessie version and a Conrail one, and I think there was a couple others. I remember the Conrail had a logo like right here. It was like a stemish type thing. I'm not exactly sure, but if you guys know what engine I'm talking about, you guys know if you have it. But that was kind of caught my eye, but can't find it no more. So otherwise I'd get it. But you know, when we pre-ordered this engine, you know, I was thinking another Chessie. You know, what do we need another Chessie for? And because I mean, we have so many other Chessies. It's like, you know, I mean, what do we need this for? And then, you know, when we took this engine home, and it's a really nice engine. You know, if I could get a different road name like that Norfolk Southern one, I've seen so many SD40Es. I've seen like 10 of them, and they're really, really nice. And you know, I mean, if I could pick a different road name, I probably would. But you know, the SD50 for the engine itself is really, really nice. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the details on this engine, and then we'll go ahead and see what it can do a little later. So here's a look at the front nose of the engine. I'm kind of going to do this all in one shot if I can. You have a coupler right here, which can be thrown off the MTH remote by using the F coupler button. You have a very nice coupler cut bar, which does move, as you can see. You got the handrail and stanchion detail, which looks really, really good. A safety chain in the middle of that. You have the Chessie kitten logo, which looks really good. And then right here, these are non-operational marker lights. When I first took this engine out of the box, I was thinking, oh, these light up. They don't. I mean, it's kind of upsetting to see that, but not a really big deal. You have leaded number boards here and an operating headlight. The cab has two crew figures in it and has windshield wipers on it. The trucks are really nicely done. You know, MTH has really stepped up their game with their six-wheel trucks. I thought their four-wheel trucks are really, really nice, and they really are great. And these six-wheel trucks are getting pretty good too. You have the Baltimore, Ohio name here. Now, remember that Chessie was a merger. It was the Baltimore, Ohio, the Chesapeake, Ohio, the Western Maryland, and the Seaboard Airline to make the Chessie system. So that's why on all the Chessie engines, they have the road name that they merged with, and they got your road number 8584, and then the legible builder's plate right there. Down the side of the engine, you got a whole wealth of nice see-through vents right here. There's one here. A lot of warning placards you can see here. There's another screen. Now this one here is actually not see-through, but these two on the back here are. You got a smokestack, which you'll be able to get a better look at in just a moment. You have the handrail detail here and the fuel tank with some separately painted items. Here's a look at the top. You can see the fan blade assembly here. There's a horn right there. Didn't get a chance to get that in the shot. You got this, I think it's the dynamic brake housing here. I'm not exactly sure, or maybe this is, I don't know. Brad's Trans, if you know, you'd be able to tell me that. Have the smokestack here, which I showed you just a moment ago. Now, what's really cool about this one is that it's silver. It really sets the whole Chessie thing off to me, because all the other Chessie engines we have, this part here is the blue, like the top. So it's kind of cool to have a silver smokestack. That was pretty cool there. Moving back a little bit, you have this panel here. It's molded in. Then you have the radiator assembly. You've got three fan blades. these fan blades do have rotating blades in them, and then this section here pops off for the controls. It's a little weird to get at. There's not like a really easy way to really pull it up. So you can pull the fan blades right off, and then there it goes. See, here's one of the fan blades. If you were to blow on it, it would move. I'll just use my finger. See it there? And these just pop right back on. Just line up the tabs and go ahead and put it in, just like that. And then inside here you have all your controls. You got your 3-rail, 2-rail switch, the DCS, DCC, and then your potentiometers for your smoke and your volume. And then this is held on by magnets. You can see it there. I really wish there was an easier way to pull this off. If you're a conventional user, you may have a tough time being able to get to your controls a little bit, because this is kind of weird to pull off. It's not like on like a legacy engine like my GP35, where this is held on by clips and then you use the little grab iron to pull up on it. It's kind of weird. I'm sure there's an easy way to get to it, but if you know an easier way to get to it, then tell me. But without any further ado, let's take a look and see what this train can do. Okay, so that takes care of the details, so let's go ahead and see what this engine can do. Real quick before we turn it on though, I'll give you my favorite feature. Now for the SD50 here, my favorite feature is the prime mover. Really good prime mover sounds on it. I kind of wish MTH used the new SD40H2 prime mover in this engine. It's got the air spitter sounds, which sound really cool. I kind of wish that they would have put that prime mover in there, but not really a big deal, so we'll go ahead and turn it on here. I'll use the extended startup sequence. Well, anyway, guys, that about wraps up for this review. This engine is really nice for our first Protosound 3 SD50. Actually, our only SD50 to be exact. Really nice engine, so it's a very welcomed addition to the fleet, and it'll be really good for years to come. Really nice engine. If you're interested in purchasing one, the retail price is right at $450. However, if you go through a good MTH deal, I'm sure you can get a good discount off that price. I'll put the product link for specifically the Chessie one in the description, so if you want to get an idea of all the features and stuff that the train can do, get to that page and then you can see all that and see all the dealers who have and other things like that. So, but that's gonna wrap it up, guys. We'll catch you later.